Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Roane State Community College. My name is Chris Whaley, and as I say very often, and I say it often because I mean it with all my heart, I am blessed to serve as the president of Roane State Community College. And it's my sincere pleasure to welcome each one of you to our campus. Now, you may be doing that live here in person with just a few of us, or for the majority of us, maybe joining us virtually. And so whether you're here in person, welcome, or whether you're joining us virtually, welcome to you. It's certainly been an unusual year, to say the least, but in spite of the many challenges we have faced those together. Never wavering, but facing those challenges head on and succeeding in the name of student success on behalf of all those who are taking classes here at Roane State Community College. And those challenges also included getting together to celebrate the things that we are celebrating today. This is an accumulation of celebrations, things that normally would have happened in the past year and would have happened in person. And for obvious reasons, we did not get to do that in that way. But the good thing about that is we have joined the celebrations together, and we're going to do the celebrating today. Now, before we begin today's program, let me first recognize some of our special guests who are with us today in person. First of all, Senator Ken Yeager. Senator, thank you for being here. Representative Dennis Powers. Regent Danny Varlin is here. Thank you, Regent Varlin. And let me also thank, from Roane State standpoint, she wears many hats, but we don't have major events here at Roane State without Tamsin Miller. She is the one who organizes all of these things, so thank you, Tamsin. To the members of the Roane State Community College Foundation staff who are here, thank you for your hard work. And special thanks and recognition to Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee. They are the entity who sponsor the recipient of the SOAR Awards and our ability to celebrate. Again, without COVID, that would have looked quite a bit different than it does today, but I'm going to mention at the end of our ceremony here a special way that they have contributed and a way that we're utilizing the generosity that they provide. But Blue Cross Blue Shield, who are watching, to your representatives, thank you so much. Such a great partner, not only to Roane State, but to all of the members of the Tennessee Board of Regents system. Thank you to all of you for taking time out of your busy schedules to be with us today. So now, to start today's events off, let me introduce you to Regent Danny Varlin. For those of you who don't know her, Regent Varlin is the Major Gifts, Grants, and Estate Planning Officer at East Tennessee Children's Hospital in Knoxville, and she has a long history of serving her community before she was appointed to the Tennessee Board of Regents in 2010 to represent the 2nd Congressional District. She was reappointed to serve a second term in 2013 and recently reappointed to serve a third term in 2020, and we are very thankful for that, by the way. She is a great friend not only to Roane State, but to all the institutions within the TBR system. You will simply find no one more committed to student success, to workforce education, and to making sure that we in the Board of Regents serve our students well than Regent Varlin. She supports us and she holds our feet to the fire, and I say that in the most positive, appropriate way. Regent Varlin, would you please come to the podium and introduce our first presenter?
Thank you so much, Dr. Whaley, and it is so exciting to be here in person. This is the first in-person Board of Regents things I've been able to do, and I think I can speak on behalf of all the Board of Regents that we miss you. We want the in-person. We want to be at our schools and see our fabulous presidents and staff, so it is very exciting to be here today. So thank you again, Dr. Whaley, and it's such an honor to be able to do the couple of things we're going to take care of. But in a minute, you're going to see a video by Chancellor Flora Tidings, who is unable to be with us today. And for those of you who are not familiar with Chancellor Tidings, she is the Chief Executive Officer of the Tennessee Board of Regents. She manages all the operations of the system office and provides strategic leadership for the system's institutions. She's been a professional educator in Georgia before we stole her and she moved to Tennessee. In 2015, she accepted the position of president of the Chattanooga State Community College, and then in 2017, she was appointed chancellor to the Tennessee Board of Regents College System, and she has been fantastic. So I'd like to, at this time, I guess, present the SOAR Award to you, and then we're going to hear from Chancellor Tidings. So on behalf of the Tennessee Board of Regents, congratulations formally to Roane State Community College for an incredible 2020 year.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
That's a loading of the video.
Regent Varlin, let me just say quickly how grateful we are. We know this has been a long time coming to celebrate, but this is really on behalf of all of the folks at Roane State Community College, the faculty and staff who truly earned this. Congratulations to all of them, and thank you so much for all you do to work hard for student success every single day.
It is truly my honor to be with you here today as we celebrate all that It is truly my honor to be with you here today as we celebrate all that makes Roane State Community College our College of the Year. It was my hope that we could have all been together last year in downtown Nashville to celebrate Roane State being named the Community College of the Year. But you all know how those good intentions went. And as I said in April of last year, our system's mission and the mission of each of our colleges is the success of all of our students and the development of Tennessee's workforce. Our graduates power Tennessee's economy, and Roane State Community College is truly on the forefront of making this happen. Roane State, its president, Dr. Chris Whaley, along with you at the outstanding faculty, staff, and students, have been on the cutting edge in leading such great initiatives as using a success coach model to provide every entering student with a single source at their local campus to assist with academic, financial aid, and career advisement for your first year. Implementing a middle college that has enabled nearly 160 high school students in 6 area school systems to obtain an associate's degree concurrent with their high school degree. And you have also been there for your students during this time of crisis by establishing full-service food pantries on 3 campuses that offer a variety of items for meals that can be prepared at their home or eat while they're on campus. Everyone in the Roane State community should feel a sense of pride in all that you are accomplishing. So congratulations again on being selected as the 2020 Community College of the Year for the Tennessee Board of Regents.
Thank you so much, Chancellor. And now we would like to follow that with a message from Lieutenant Governor Randy McNally.
Hello, this is Lieutenant Governor Randy McNally, and I would like to congratulate Roane State on being selected the 2020 College of the Year. Many of us have known for quite some time how special Roane State is and how much it benefits our region and our community. I'm grateful to the Tennessee Board of Regents for recognizing the efforts of Dr. Whaley and many others in making such an outstanding institution of higher education. I would like to congratulate James and Pat Wilson, Lucy and Barry Stevenson on their philanthropic award. Without their commitment and generosity, many students would not receive the quality education they do today. We greatly appreciate their efforts. Thank you and congratulations again to the entire Roane State community.
Thank you so much, Governor McNally. I'm also in just a moment going to invite Senator Yeager and then Representative Powers up. But I'd like to say this about our legislative delegation, those who represent the Roane State service area in the Tennessee General Assembly. Again, I say this with all sincerity because I work with these folks day in and day out. They have the mission of higher education, specifically the mission of the Tennessee Board of Regents system at heart. It is sincerely their passionate belief that higher education makes a difference in the lives of students, and they work every single day to make student access and success a reality, and we could not do what we do without them. So we're very grateful to you, gentlemen. Senator Yeager, would you come forward, please?
Thank you very much for letting me participate today in this event to honor our very generous benefactors of the college, the Wilsons and the Stevensons. Thank you very much. You know, I've said before that when a modern history is written of the county, the Chronicle will say that the three most important events in the county's history, Roane County's history, was, of course, the Tennessee Valley Authority, the Manhattan Project, and Roane State Community College. Roane State Community College, for 50 years now, has been a life-changing institution. Lives have been transformed. Directions in the right direction for many of our young people have been set. And we could not do this without the private support of and generosity of folks like the Wilsons and the Stevensons. We are so grateful to you that you care enough about this community to put back some that you have received through your efforts. So thank you so very much for your generosity and for caring about people and Roane State Community College. And thank you for letting me be here, and as we salute the college too on its 50th anniversary and the recipient of the year, College of the Year Award. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Senator. Representative Powers.
Thank you so much for allowing me to be here today. It is an honor, and I want to congratulate Roane State Community College. They have, I'll just talk a little bit about my area. They have transformed the area that I live in Campbell County. I know we went from a small office building in a mall to a brand new campus, and now a brand new lab for them too. So it's always been an honor to work with Senator Yeager too on so many different programs with dual enrollment, with middle college. A few years ago, I got to carry the Tennessee Reconnect bill. So we've really been dedicated, and I know Roane State has been dedicated to serving the kids in our community. There's so many stories out there that many people have not heard, but they need to be heard about people their first time. They're the first people in their family to go to college, and it's really just turned our area around. We've got, in my particular area, we've got about 450 students, but these are kids that would have never gone to college before, and Roane State has transformed their life. And so I want to congratulate Roane State on this award. They're very deserving of it, and it's an honor to get to represent our area and our district and get to work with Senator Yeager. And we're going to do everything we can to keep working for Roane State Community College to make sure that they continue to be successful like they are. So thank you.
Thank you to both of you. Again, our sincere gratitude for all that you do, all of the members of the General Assembly, and the way you support and passionately advocate for our students. We're getting ready to transition, but again, one more time, let me not fail to mention that, again, the award that we are celebrating and getting ready to transition on to Columbia State, the 2021 recipient, congratulations to them, is only made possible by the hard work of every single individual at Roane State Community College. And that hard work, again, we don't do things just to be recognized, obviously, but the recognition, I think, is obviously a good indicator of the positive direction that the Roane State employees have pointed the institution. And followed up not only with the SOAR Award for 2020, but then we found out just a couple of months ago, again, with the hard work, thanks thanks to the hard work of the Roane State employees, to be named by Achieving the Dream as a Leader College of Distinction this year, one of only 4 community colleges in the entire nation. So again, following up one good accolade, one great accolade with another. So my congratulations to you. And we are here to celebrate not only the SOAR Award, but also some very generous individuals. And to start the ball rolling again, I will invite Regent Varlin back to the podium.
Thank you. And it is, again, an honor and a pleasure to be here to congratulate Roane State on its recognition from the SOAR Award on 50 years, and now with the news, of course, of their most recent recognition. But I'm so thrilled to be able to do this particular SOAR Award because it just so happens that I know the Stevensons, and it has been a pleasure to know Barry for a long time. So each year, the Tennessee Board of Regents recognizes an organization or individual that has been very generous to one or more TBR institutions or to the system and its students. This award is meant for visionaries, state persons of the community, employers, workforce partners, and regional leaders. Known as the Regents Award for Excellence in Philanthropy, this award focuses on those individuals who have given generously of their time and resources to a TBR institution, who have had a major influence on volunteers to become involved in fundraising or supporting TBR, shown exceptional civic responsibility and integrity, and has a continued commitment of philanthropic effort to improve the quality of life for TBR, their students, and our community. In this case, the TBR institution that has benefited from these philanthropists is Roane State Community College. It is with great pleasure that we formally recognize Barry and Lucy Stevenson with the 2020 TBR Regents Award for Excellence in Philanthropy. The Stevensons are dear friends to Roane State Community College and have supported Roane State and our programs extensively for 15 years. The generous gift of a $400,000 scholarship endowment supporting nursing students from Roane County, as well as the innovative Lab in a Box program, a public-private partnership at Roane State Community College, are 2 of the significant donations. When the Family Medicine Associates of Kingston Board of Directors accomplished its stated objectives and dissolved, board member Barry Stevenson led the decision to distribute its remaining funds of over $400,000 to the Roane State Foundation to establish a nursing student sponsor scholarship endowment. Family Medicine Associates had previously been a scholarship contributor and is among the first businesses to provide funds for licensing and certification exams for students through the Roane State Foundation. This was only the beginning of a long and fruitful relationship with the foundation, influenced and facilitated by the Stevensons. Through their company, Materials and Chemistry Lab, Inc., also called McLink, in Oak Ridge, Barry and Lucy became regular supporters of Roane State, today totaling over $175,000 for both Oak Ridge and Roane County students in the Lab in a Box STEM program. In 2006, Barry joined the board of directors of the Roane State Foundation, actively assisting with foundation events, solicitations, and business partnerships. One of the most notable of Roane State's business and education partnerships was the formation of the Lab in a Box program in 2010, which provides science kits, including materials and lessons plans, to rural school districts. Understanding that many rural school districts do not have resources, the kits are designed for regional K-12 students, particularly middle school students, and are prepared with the expertise of Roane State faculty and staff to align with state standards. Roane State faculty also train the grade school and middle school teachers on the use of the kits. Each kit can cost up to $5,000 each to create, with additional cost for faculty stipend and training cost. Barry and McLink often assisted and specifically ensured that the college provided stipends for faculty. As a volunteer, Barry has led the development of this program from its inception and remains involved today. Almost 10 years ago, this public-private partnership began through a conversation at the 80-plus member East Tennessee Economic Council, known as ETEC, as part of their Rural Community STEM initiative. By early 2011, largely due to Barry's influence and efforts, and maybe a little arm wrangling, nearly $80,000 was raised through the businesses and individual members of ETEC and others. As a founder of RCSI and Lab in a Box, Barry continues to welcome the input of Roane State faculty and administration with regard to fundraising and curriculum development. He often provides his own thoughts and insights as well as professional connections to generate ideas and funds to reach more school districts and train more teachers each year. One example of going the extra mile for Roane State and Lab in a Box includes his facilitation to make the program a focal point of the 170-member Energy, Technology, Informational Business Association, also known as ATIBA, Christmas Party. Additionally, Roane State's grant development specialists, in collaboration with the foundation, have been able to leverage more than $50,000 in grants to support the Lab in a Box program in recent years. In addition to the private contributions that are often received, as of this school year, 51 kits have been distributed across the college's service area. While the professional achievements and connection that Barry holds are significant, we know that without the support and encouragement of Lucy, the impact of the Stevensons would be diminished. Together, leveraging friendships, personal and professional, as well as business connections, the Stevenson impact has been profound. The couple is known throughout Roane County for their love of their community and beloved for their famous relationship-building annual backyard barbecues. Today, dozens of Roane State students have received scholarships from the endowment they helped to launch, and many more young students have experienced STEM education through Lab in a Box kits. Barry has served as board chair of Roane State Foundation and also on the investment committee for many years. Currently, he serves as the foundation's vice chair on the executive committee and is going to be board chair again in July 2021. He's a sucker for punishment, aren't you? Additionally, he currently serves on the legacy committee, which is ramping up this year to promote planned gifts to Roane State. Barry is a 2013 recipient of ETEC's prestigious Muddy Boot Award, and he maintains regular involvement in the Rotary Club of Oak Ridge, the Roane Alliance, ATIBA, Oak Ridge Chamber of Commerce, and Oak Ridge Associated Universities. A graduate of the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, Barry and his wife Lucy make their home in Kingston, just a few miles down the road. It is with great pleasure that the Tennessee Board of Regents recognize Barry and Lucy Stevenson with the 2020 Regents Award for Excellence in Philanthropy and the tremendous impact they have made, not only at Roane State Community College, but throughout the entire region as well. There's going to be a video that's coming up next, and then I'm going to invite Barry and Lucy to come and say a few words.
You don't have to be the class giver who gets buildings named after them or endows a chair at a university. It's not that kind of contributions that most of us are able to make. However, it's a partnership, as I pointed out, business and has many, many components. The state of Tennessee, we're fortunate to be able to boast about the state taking the initiative to provide post-secondary education. But that's not enough, because just the idea of a paid tuition can't get most people into an education program, and particularly if it's a single mom trying to raise children, a working dad who's trying to do 2 jobs to make ends meet and then find time to go back for training. There are many other needs that have to be satisfied, and the only way those are satisfied is by contributions from individuals and businesses.
When I was teaching, there were some of our students who were actually homeless, who were living in their cars with their family in order to go to school and participate in contributing back to the community. Healthcare specifically is very dear because it not only is an educational part of it, it also is a helping, serving profession. And because of that, you not only give back to the community just by being at a higher level of education with it, but you're also serving. And I think that anytime we can give back to the community with that and bring people out of a existence that they may have had that was not as economically stable for them to where they can not only make a living for themselves at a pretty good equitable rate, they can also give back to the community.
I don't think any disgrace in admitting that we're in a part of the country that is a victim of generational poverty. And I think breaking out of that requires something like taking the message out to the communities where people will take advantage of it and actually become very proud. We have the remote locations, remote campuses of Roane State are places where the community pride in having that facility in there, it's just very impressive. It gives the community something to rally around. And I think that helps with the idea of having better educated, more folks that are seeking a post-secondary education. Not that that solves everything, but certainly as a person values themselves more and feels community pride, that certainly builds a strong community. I appreciate the award that we're receiving, and I can say sincerely that it was a great privilege and pleasure to have donated and continue to donate to Roane State.
Congratulations. It's my honor and pleasure to present this SOAR award to you both. It's heavy. So I was going to say, and if you would like, I almost have to hold that. If you'd like to say a few words, you have, but I welcome you to the podium. And I would hug you because it's really hard. I haven't seen you in a year, but congratulations.
Thank you, Regent Varlin, especially for the virtual hug. I miss those too, you know. We're honored to receive this award. And I think what we said on the video and what Regent Varlin has said speaks for itself in that we are honored and proud to support the role of Roane State Community College and community and economic development. And it's entirely fitting that we recognize not only our personal contributions, but those of the employee owners of Materials and Chemistry Laboratory. As I said, it's a partnership. It's all of us working together. And starting with the contribution that was made on behalf of Family Medicine Associates of Kingston, building on that with our contributions, we're just so proud to receive the award today. So thank you so very much, and we look forward to continuing. I don't expect to be around for another 50 years, but I hope Roane State's here and doing even more 50 years from now. We're very proud of Roane State, and thank you so much.
Again, many, many congratulations. And one of the really neat things about recognizing the generosity of these great folks is that we're celebrating not one, but two awards this year. And so not only do the Board of Regents collectively recognize philanthropists each year, but also the Chancellor of our system has an award for philanthropy, and we're pleased to be celebrating those very deserving recipients today too. So at this time, I'd like to play a video from Chancellor Tidings.
Each year, the Tennessee Board of Regents recognizes an organization or individual who has given special assistance to a TBR college. This is known as the Chancellor's Award for Excellence in Philanthropy, an award that focuses on those who have given generously to a TBR college, including outstanding volunteer efforts in raising money or expanding business-employer collaboration. It is with great pleasure that we present James and Patricia Wilson with the Chancellor's Award for Excellence in Philanthropy for 2020. The Wilsons' leadership in fundraising through their local circles of influence, as well as their generous personal giving to the Roane State Foundation, has greatly impacted the level of support to students from Morgan County. Mr. Wilson ran a successful law practice for over 40 years in Wartburg, as well as managing numerous real estate holdings and investments. He is the retired chairman and organizer of Citizens First Bank, where he served from 1995 until its merger in 2019. In 2017, James joined the Roane State Foundation Board of Directors, and that same year spearheaded the largest local donor event in any of Roane State's rural counties, raising over $40,000 in private contributions for scholarships. Since that time, the Wilsons have contributed substantially to a scholarship endowment named for them, totaling nearly $300,000, and we are told he's not done yet. As a member of the Foundation Board for the past 3 years, James continues to be very active and currently serves as chair of the Investment Committee and a member of the Executive Committee. He also sits on the Foundation's Legacy Committee, which is ramping up this year to market and promote planned gifts to Roane State. James actively challenges others to follow his family's lead and remains a strong advocate for the college and the giving opportunities. While the professional achievements and connections that James holds are significant, we also know that without the support and encouragement of Patricia, the Wilsons' impact would not be the same. Patricia and James currently make their home in Oak Ridge, where she was an elementary school teacher for 12 years. Her passion for education and caring for students is evident. James has also taught chemistry and physics to college freshmen and business law to college seniors. The Wilsons' support of education extends not only to Roane State, but also to their own alma maters, where they have created similar endowments. There is no question that the Wilsons' impact through the Foundation endowment to which they continue to add will be lasting in Morgan County. And already several Roane State students are benefiting from these scholarship funds every semester. In addition to many professional accomplishments and service to the Roane State Foundation, James has served on the Methodist Medical Center Foundation Board and also with Rural Legal Services of Tennessee, the Housing Development Corporation of Clinch Valley, the Oak Ridge Breakfast Rotary Club Foundation, and the First United Methodist Church of Oak Ridge. In his words, he joined the Foundation Board because the most efficient way to change the dynamics is to provide post-secondary educational services to the county through Roane State Community College. The Wilsons clearly understand the mission and the needs of Roane State and the students. Therefore, it is with great pleasure that I present this award to James and Patricia Wilson for the tremendous impact they have made in Morgan County and to Roane State Community College. Thank you on behalf of TBR for all that you do to help this state.
We love seeing these bright young faces and the opportunity for them to get to achieve.
We love seeing these bright young faces and the opportunity for them to get to achieve and reach their life goals.
If they want to invest in the future, invest in the work of strangers, like for our scholarship, it'll be given to people we don't know. After we're gone, it'll be given to people we don't know. And if you want to do an endowed fund, then you can do that forever. if you want to do anything different than that, it can be done. This is going to be my legacy, my tombstone. And years from today, when I'm gone, our funds will be there helping people.
Just wanted to give you an update. Remember in the video that Chancellor Tiding said the Wilsons were not done yet? Well, since December 2020, the Wilsons' contribution to their scholarship endowment has risen to over $1 million. They really are not done yet. And on behalf of the people of Morgan County, of Roane State Community Colleges, I welcome them to the podium. To James Frank and Patricia Wilson, thank you. Please come up and receive this award. We're so grateful to both of them. Now, we're going to take photos afterwards so that we won't break the train of the ceremony here. So, but I do want to invite either of you to share a few words.
Thank you.
Patricia.
My wife Pat and I want to thank the Tennessee Board of Regents and Regent Varlin for this award. We appreciate it. We appreciate Roane State and the Roane State Foundation. We appreciate what Roane State does for all of the students in the campuses that they have in the 9-county area. Roane State covers large counties like Morgan and Anderson and Roane, and small counties like Morgan and Fentress. And as the Chancellor said, I did practice law in Morgan County for 40 years. I remember when there was no facility in the county. I remember that Roane State built the first one, which is the only one, and not enough people came because they did not have enough support for the students. And in about 2016, we helped raise some money there, and I was leading that, and we did a good job, but there was more that needed to be done. And once we identified a problem, my wife and I decided to do something about it. And today, in the fall of this year, there'll be 20 scholarships awarded to Morgan County students. Next year, there will be 40. Assuming we don't do anything else. And I would invite all persons who might consider giving to Roane State students to do that. Do it often, do it your way. It can be done any way you want to do it. I prefer to do it as a endowed scholarship, so in the future, persons that are not around today will benefit from it. Thanks again. Take care.
Thank you so much to you both, to all four of you. You know, at the risk of getting a little choked up, because everyone here knows, but there are so many who don't know, that the only way that students have access to higher education, despite wonderful programs, game-changing programs like Promise and Reconnect, that it's folks like this who not only give of their own resources, but then talk it up in their own communities, and as Regent Varlin said, twist a few arms here and there. And that's so powerful, and it's really moving. And so across the Board of Regents system, there are folks placed within each service area who do very, very similar things. But we're so grateful that these four individuals serve Roane State and do it with such passion and such grace. And congratulations to all of you. Now, moving right along, we want to honor a few more individuals who, because of COVID restrictions, we've been able not been able to honor this past year through normal avenues. And these are exceptional members of the community who, again, help serve our students and our communities. First, the foundation would like to recognize the contributions of the late Wallace and Alice Casinelli. Wallace Casinelli, also known as Caz, was born and raised in Covington, Kentucky. And as a young man, he entered the military and was stationed in Nashville, Tennessee. He was trained as an aircraft mechanic, and while working on an airplane, fell off the wing and landed in the hospital. Now, while recovering from surgery on his hand, he noticed the nurses there were complaining about things that needed some type of minor adjustment, some fixing, and he felt like he could handle those things. Word soon got out that this young man could fix problems on the equipment, and so he was soon fixing things for everyone there. The base commander was a doctor, and the word made its way to him, and he met up with Kaz and set him up with an office in the basement of the hospital where he would work on hospital equipment. This led him to meet Mary Alice Malone, who worked in the office of the base commander as a civilian employee. That chance meeting forged the union that would last for more than 60 years. After Kaz and Mary Alice were married, he worked for Massey Surgical in Nashville and was transferred to Knoxville to work. Massey Surgical sold to Picker X-Ray Company, and Kaz sold and serviced X-ray equipment for that company here in Knoxville and in the surrounding region. Picker was expanding, and they asked Kaz to cover the southeastern part of the United States. He did, and was quite successful in selling their equipment. His only requirement was that Picker would supply him service help to cover the base of the equipment that he had sold. When they didn't, he decided to start an X-ray company of his own. People who knew Kaz said he needed to set it up in the Nashville area. Kaz realized that there were 3 key players in that market: Vanderbilt, Baptist, and St. Thomas. He also realized there was a small community hospital at almost every exit off the interstate from Chattanooga to Bristol, and so he concentrated on the East Tennessee region. Thus, in 1968, Wallace X-Ray was formed. Mary Alice worked the office, and Kaz worked the sales and service. Wallace X-Ray started the first solution service in the area, hand-delivering fixer and developer into holding tanks. Now, prior to this, X-ray techs would have to mix the chemistry in the darkroom and then replenish the processors. This was a nasty job for the techs, and many a batch of chemistry was mixed wrong and was quite a challenge for some time. Kaz would sell the idea by day and then mix and deliver the solutions at night. Needless to say, it was a huge hit. But more importantly, it got his foot in the door with many of the hospitals and the doctor's offices in this region. And so over the next 30 years, Wallace X-Ray Company expanded to 30 employees and more, had an office in Chattanooga, an office in Johnson City, again with their main office in Knoxville. Wallace X-Ray hired employees and paid part of their tuition if it was related to their working for Wallace X-Ray. They had an employee once that worked in the warehouse who could not read well, and they paid an outside person to come in and teach and tutor this employee how to read, which speaks to their strong passion and their heart. Through working with an employee about how much it cost to send his son to college, it was apparent that some of his nieces and nephews could not afford those kind of expenses, so Kaz and Mary Alice stepped in and set up funds to send their great nieces and nephews to school. This was the beginning of their philanthropy efforts in helping students where and when they could. I know that Kaz and Mary Alice would be happy with the decision to be able to help fund students of Roane State, and they would be pleased with how Roane State is using their gift of $250,000, and we'd like to play a video now for you.
They were business owners in Knoxville, started in 1968. Kaz and Mary Alice had moved here from Nashville, and Kaz sold for Picker X-Ray. He started the first solution service in East Tennessee, which back then, the techs would make their own solutions in the departments, and dirty, nasty. Of course, the techs were mostly women, and they wore the uniforms, the white uniforms. Developer was dark, would get on their uniforms. Fixer would eat the clothes. So it was a big deal. And he became matched up with Siemens equipment out of Germany, and we installed Siemens X-ray equipment up until '86, and then they went direct, so we started rebuilding Siemens equipment, and we outsold Siemens in the East Tennessee area, some of the equipment here at the university is Siemens equipment that we rebuilt back in the 86 through 98 when Kaz finally retired. Kaz and Mary Alice had always encouraged people to learn, to continue to learn. And, you know, the endowment that we made to the Roane State here is a continuation of that. The difference is that Kaz and Mary Alice never drew attention to themselves, whereas this is out there for people to know that this is, you know, Wallace and Mary Alice Casinelli. It's their giving that made it possible.
The endowment has made possible for us to buy equipment for the X-ray lab that would normally be outside of our reach. And this particular donation has allowed us to obtain equipment that we normally would never have been able to afford. Also, the endowment is allowing us to finance and allow clinical instructors and faculty professional development options that have previously also been a challenge. Because as technology changes in the radiology field, which happens very quickly, this is going to allow us to keep up with our professional development and keep up with the changing times. Not to mention student impact. There's additionally each year 4 students receive a Casinelli scholarship, which they use to help fund their education and to sit for their national licensure exam.
That everyone in the program is very thankful, along with our teachers, because they are also helping them broaden their education to help us learn. So we're very grateful.
It's hard to ascertain just how many students they've already helped, and now going forward with these endowments, how many more students, how many more faculty members, how many more students taking advantage of the equipment availability. So the naming of the lab is in some ways a small gesture, but we think an important one just to show how grateful we are to these families and to the generosity. So again, we are sad that the Casinellis are no longer with us, but their spirit lives on, their generosity lives on, and countless more lives of students, faculty members will be touched by their generosity, for which again, we are very grateful. Our final recognition as a part of this celebration today is to announce our 2019 Outstanding Alumni recipient, Dr. Michelle Cash, who unfortunately cannot be with us today, but we are really excited to present this award to her, as you see here on the podium with me. And I'd like to tell you a little bit about Dr. Cash. Michelle, a 1991 graduate of Roane County High School, received her Associate of Science degree in pre-nursing in 1993 and an Associate of Applied Science degree in nursing in 1995. While attending Roane State, Michelle was a member of the Raider Corps, an ambassador group for the college, and that was certainly to foreshadow things to come. I should also mention that Michelle was not the first nor the last in her family to attend Roane State Community College. She is part of a proud tradition started by her father, the late Hobart Barnett Jr., who graduated from Roane State in the late 1970s. Her daughter, Emily, graduated from Roane State in May 2020 and is currently attending King University with plans to become a veterinarian. After leaving Roane State, Michelle went on to earn her Bachelor's of Science degree in nursing in 2012, a Master of Science degree in nursing from Kaplan University in 2014, and at last her Doctor of Nursing practice from King University in 2019. She currently serves as the RN BSN Program Coordinator and Nursing Instructor at King University's Knoxville campus, and as well as a staff nurse at Fort Sanders Regional Medical Center's Newborn Nursery, as well as an adjunct OB clinical instructor right here at Roane State Community College. Cash was nominated by Dr. Rhonda Morgan, coordinator of King University's Doctor of Nursing Practice program. Morgan praised Cash for her commitment to lifelong learning, which is certainly evident, as well as her contributions to the nursing profession, her perseverance and innovations in nursing education. Dr. Patricia Jenkins, Dean of Roane State's Health Sciences Division, worked with Cash in her role as a part-time instructor at Roane State, as well as in her roles at King University. Jenkins says, "She is absolutely a delight," and we wholeheartedly agree. Michelle is active in her community with local sports programs for youth. She serves in various church activities. She has served with Lost Sheep Ministry for the homeless populations in Knoxville, as well as providing services through Knoxville's Harm Reduction Clinic for the city's opioid-addicted population. Her husband, Jay, is a supervisor for the state's Department of Children's Services, and in addition to their daughter, Emily, a Roane State graduate, the couple also has a son, Noah, who is employed as a licensed insurance agent, and he is a King University graduate as well. So again, although she could not be here with us today, I want you to please join me as we congratulate and recognize Dr. Michelle Cash as Roane State Community College's 2019 Outstanding Alumna. And at this time, we'd like to play a video from Michelle.
I always knew I wanted to be a nurse, and Roane State just seemed like the obvious option. Being local, a community college, I was nominated by my high school guidance counselor to be on the Raider Corps. Part of our duties on the Raider Corps were to serve as host and hostesses at Roane State events, and so we got to travel and do some neat things that we wouldn't have gotten to do otherwise. In the nursing program, some of the memorable instructors I had were Dr. Miriam Works, and then Candy LeMay. Margaret Crow was one of a very memorable faculty member who I still quote her today in my classes when I'm teaching. She told us knowledge is power, and that we should always learn, keep learning, always be involved in nursing associations, that kind of thing. And so that's kind of the same message I then send to my students. I teach a class here at King University on dimensions of professional nursing, and that part of that is ongoing education for nurses and the importance of nursing organizations and that kind of thing. So I hear Margaret's voice in my head a lot saying knowledge is power. And so I think she would have been proud that I went on to school. I got my bachelor's, my master's, and my doctorate. I think the benefit of going to Roane State is that it's a small kind of community. It's not quite so scary like a big university would be. I think the transition from high school to a community college like that is it's an easy transition, and it was definitely an easy transition for me, being kind of a little homebody, sheltered teenager. It was the perfect fit. And I think the classes there, the instructors there, they really cared about our success. And I think that's really important. My father is a graduate from Roane State Community College, and he really valued education. And so it was, that was another reason that we kind of chose Roane State, is because we were familiar with it. He had graduated from there, and he has since passed, but I think he would be super proud to know that I continued my education. And this award just, is very meaningful, to me for that reason, and still have that connection back to Roane State.
Again, many congratulations to Michelle. Many congratulations to all of our recipients today. It's our blessing to get to honor you in this way, and for those who have joined us. Let me mention as we conclude and say how thankful again we are for you to join us, whether in person or virtually. Let me thank Dr. Matt Waters and Lon Bird, who did all the technical things to make this broadcast and videos possible. Many thanks to you. Let me thank again Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee for sponsoring our celebration, and through their generosity, one of the small ways but good ways you'll be pleased to know for faculty and staff that we're going to make available, sending out to the campus, are some really good chocolates, so you can't ever go wrong there. So enjoy those as we send those out to the campuses. But again, thank you so much. It's such a blessing to get to work with and be associated with people who feel so strongly about the importance of students' access to higher education and the success that you know happens when students have that access. At the Region Achieving the Dream Conference, Dr. Karen Stout, who is the president of that organization, and again, I've said this a couple of times and I'll mess the quote up a little bit, but in essence she said, it's quite one thing for an institution to identify those ceilings, those areas that students are having a hard time breaking through. I mean, that's one thing to identify those areas. It's quite another to hit those head on and to deal with the difficulties and frankly the pain sometimes associated with the change that's necessary to break the mold and break through on behalf of students. And that's exactly what this institution, what its employees, its donors, its partners, its friends do on a regular basis. And that's the reason I am so blessed to know and work with all of you. Thank you again. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much for joining us.